outer domes and you put 2 smaller domes and a yoga block. Okay, so our starting point is we're going to assume that you've been dancing all night and you need to release some hips and your thoracic spine. So what you're going to do is you can lie on these here at your bra clip point and you're going to slip these underneath your glutes. Now, this could be too overwhelming for some people, so be careful in this process. If it's too much for you, I suggest that you put your head on the yoga block. It will take some of the direct pressure off. We're going to start at the vertebra, either side of the vertebra around the bra clip height. And then you're just going to put the glutes next. So as I say, if it becomes too much, put the yoga block under your head. It's going to take a little bit of the pressure off. What you're going to, I'll just do this so I can see you easily. So what you're going to do is you're just going to drop your knees out to the side. So you're going to get that nice little glute release and up. You're going to have your hands above your head and then you're going to be like a little butterfly. Inhaling and opening out. Exhaling, bring everything back up. So we're going to do 3 at this height. Okay, just a little butterfly. Back and forward. Then, this time what you're going to do is you're going to drop the arms out to the side, the legs out to the side, straighten the legs out and take your arms above your head. And then bring everything back. So you're opening out, circling your arms so that arms and feet are as long as possible, and then bring everything back into center. One more time, out, and circling around and back. Then what you're going to do is you're going to wiggle down. So I do it by just taking the big domes down a bit and bring the little domes further up your vertebra. Now, today, just for today's class, we're just going to do about 3 or 4 spots, but generally it could take maybe 5 to 6 spots, and you just go at your own pace. I like to do this when I'm doing this slowly on its own to a count of 3 as I take my arms out and legs out, and 3 as I take my arms over my head, and then to a count of 3 as I bring my knees out. So you might just, while I'm doing 3, you might just try to do all of them, just 1 repetition to my 3 at the moment. The slower you go, the greater the pleasure or pain, whichever you want to call it. So just moving it up. 1 more time. Actually, I'll do 2 more times. Out and in. Out and in. And in. So remembering under the glutes, and then you're sort of moving it up your thoracic spine. Hopefully, you start from around the bra clip and you'll get up to just at the very top of your collarbone, just around where the collarbone would be if it came right round to that T1, T2. So having had that done, take them out. Just take a little moment and feel the joy in your back. Just bring that to the side. Now, what I just want you to do is take a nice deep breath in, check that it feels okay on your thoracic spine. For some of you, if you do this at home a bit later, you might find that it will help you just to have a towel under your back. For those of you who have a slight scoliosis, you might find that to achieve it on the higher side, you might need to have the middle dome and then the little dome on the lower side. So just remember, there's a few little options there. So what I'm going to get you to do is we're going to lie on our side. Now, this requires you to reassemble your dome. So all 3 domes go back into that one makalu. I'd suggest you, if you can, assemble all 3 domes just to get it on both sets. And what we're going to do is, if you can, you don't have to have the ball here, but I find the ball helps you just get the sashay movement. So what you're going to do is lie on your side with the ball in between your knees and put the yoga block underneath your head. So what I like to do is have my little makalu dome out in front. So first thing is just do a couple of little sashays again, just to open out your hip and thoracic spine, get that little diagonal that I love to get. Now, what you want to do from here though is we're going to, instead of initiating that spinal movement from your sacrum now, we're going to try and initiate the movement from your upper body. So yoga brick under your head or a pillow under your head just to support you. And you're going to put your hand on the makalu. And you're just going to slide it forward just a little bit. Just get that sense that you're moving from the scapula and then sliding that scapula forward, and then you roll the hip. Now, you've got the hip forward, you're going to roll back from the shoulder, slide the makalu back, and then you'll get to a tipping point where you're going to slide the hip back. So again, we'll just do 3 like this. So the idea is you're moving forward, getting the scapula sliding forward, and then the sternum, and then the sacrum, and roll back. When I do this, I really just want you to get the idea of you're just rocking from the spine, and the makalu is just helping you to slide forward and back. Now, the next version of this is you're going to slide the hand forward and do the same thing with the pelvis, and then you're going to tip the makalu up. Now, I tip it up so that the timber base is pushing away from you, and then you're going to roll back and forward. When I do this, I sort of think of an elephant trunk lifting up. The timber base goes away and back. So we're just going to do 3 like that. Again, just getting the sense of your scapula sliding away. The makalu is just a nice little weight at this point. Then this time, you're going to lift your dome up, and you're going to take it up to the ceiling. And then you can see how I'm moving my pelvis back and forward. So my pelvis is back. Now I'm going to bring my arm forward, tipping forward, and then that's actually what's bringing my sternum forward first, and then my pelvis follows. Everything's happening from the upper body, not from the lower body initiation this time, and back. So then just one more, initiating from the upper and back. Now this time we're going to take the same movement and we're going to go into a bow and arrow feeling. So you're going to take the arm back and just drop the elbow back and up. Just take the arm so that the makalu's timber base is facing the ceiling. And you're just going to do another one like that. And then a third one, getting that lovely sense of rolling from the upper body, keeping the pelvis following, not bleeding. This time on your 4th bow, you're going to take this elbow back and you're going to straighten the bottom leg out. Oh, feel like you're pushing the foot away. Sorry if my feet seem dirty. And bend the knee and back up. And out. And then for your 3rd one, just take the elbow back, foot back. If you can, take your arm out and feel like you're pressing the heel away and sliding the makalu dome away from you. And then come back up. and like this. So the makalu is part of a weight, but part of it's also about helping you to keep your shoulder in a slightly better position. This time, you're going to take the makalu and you're going to slide it forward, and you're going to take the back leg back. So you're sort of reaching, making like a diagonal or a cross. You're lifting the arm up and then bringing the knee in, sort of going a little bit fetal, remembering what you did at the Christmas party. Pressing the dome away. If you can, push the timber base up and away and the heel back. And bring the knee back in. Side of one from there. Pushing out. Get that lovely stretch. Push, 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 push. And back. Roll onto your back. If you want, you can do all sorts of fancy rolling, but let's just roll onto your back for a moment and just check in, take the there, and just stretch your legs out. When I do this, I feel like one leg is a bit longer than the other. I feel a nice sense of length there. Hopefully you feel the same. I'm just going to turn around to the other side. You just roll to the other side, or however you want to do it to make it. Obviously in a class you would lie all the one way. So remember, the first one is you roll your arm forward and back. Getting the idea that you're rolling with the arm and the hip is just following. Keeping the dome on the floor as you slide forward and back. Your next one, sort of as I said, I call this lying yawn, and it is a bit of a yawn as we're trying to open out the rib cage, lifting your hand up, showing the base, rolling back. And back. Then leading it forward, lifting it up, rolling, let the arm go down and back. Sort of that lovely glide and slide of the shoulders and the ribs as you go back and forward. Roll forward and up. Then on your fourth one, you're going to roll up and do your bow and arrow. Just 3, pulling back with that elbow, allowing the upper body to roll back. It's really just a variation of book openings. Then on your fourth one, straightening that leg out, bringing the elbow back. Feel like you're pulling back. There. My model's just arrived, so I'll soon be able to get somebody to demonstrate while I point out detail. And back. Nice. Then take your elbow back, arm out, pushing back, 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 back. Stretch. Get that idea of contraction, making a sense of a big X. And back. Then same thing. Reaching out and bending your knee and your elbow in together. Use the ball really as a nice way to roll and bring your body together. It sort of gets that lovely sense of keeping the femur in connection. Once again, you don't have to have the femur, the ball there, but I find is just a nice little assist. Then press the makalu away, get that weight, press the leg away. So the makalu's dome, timber base is pressing away. Come back in, roll onto your back and just get that lovely sense of connection. See, are your feet the same level? Michael, can you come on over here, please? So we've just done that lovely sense of, oh, can you feel your legs and arms sort of lengthening away? So now what we're going to do, hopefully you're feeling nice and loosey-goosey. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do your prone yawns. So Michael, can you lie on your tummy, and I'm going to get you to put your head on the yoga block, please. And what you're going to do, hopefully you can see, Michael, actually, can you scoot back? Michael's a bit taller than me. I know it's hard to believe that anyone can be taller than me. But forehead just on the yoga block. And again, we're going to put your elbows on the makalu. So can you lift hands wide? Now, I feel that here Michael's got the makalu a bit too high for him, so we're going to take it back a little bit so that and wider. So you want to have that idea of the space in your shoulder joint, okay? So we're wanting to get that nice sort of elbows bent, and he's then you're going to take your hands a little bit wider onto the floor, okay? And what I want you to do is feel, first of all, that you're going to rock the hands up, lift the hands up, and let the elbows rock back and up. So like you're making a W shape, okay? Just going to do 3 like that. Inhale as your elbows go back. It's quite strong in that shoulder joint. This time, as you inhale, going to press your head away and lift your head up and lift your hands up and off the floor. Inhale, get that nice sense of inhale and exhale to drop. So you're going to do 3 like that. Just inhale, lifting the hands up and down. And let the arms slide up and down. Now, what I'm going to get you to do in this time is to put your hands on the makalu, base on the floor. So the timber's going to become a bit of a slider. This time, what you're going to do is inhale and slide your arms forward like you're making a big Y shape, getting that lovely, yeah, that's it. Let the shoulders come right up, almost up towards your ears if you want. Then exhale, and as you bring your elbows back down. So we're going to do 3 like this, keeping your head down. And then bring the elbows down. Now, if what you can is see if you can bring the elbows up towards the ceiling, just a little bit. I call this mad crazy spider when your elbows are up, like that. And you take your arms forward and then back down. This time, as you take your arms forward into that Y, you're going to lift your head up. Inhale, lift your head up, and hands are a bit wider, Michael, just a little bit wider. And see if you can lift your chest up a little bit more. That's it. And then bring the elbows back as you lower your body down. Just really trying to warm up your thoracic spine. Scoot the elbows down as you go forward and lift yourself up. And elbows down. Some of you may be tucking your toes under. That's great if you can do that to help you get that nice tibialis anterior hamstring connection to help with the thoracic spine. For some of you, just keep your feet flat on the floor. It's not about how high you can go, it's just about how free you can be in your thoracic spine. How does that feel, Michael? And then come back in. Just imagine you're on a surfboard. And then just drop your elbows down. Just take a deep breath in. This time, if you're up to it, you're going to come forward and lift your arms up and take the makalu with you so that the top of the makalu is going to be facing sun. This is not for everyone, I know, but lift your hands up, Michael. Yeah, good. Then down and back. So just 3. For those people who can't lift the domes, just pretend you're lifting the domes. Final one. And then my progression of this would be is come back in, Michael. You're going to lift the upper body up as you slide your arms out. Come into that, and then lift the domes up, just that little bit more. Yeah, good. And down. This is very strong, not suggesting everybody can do this. Is that all right on your back?
Yeah.
It's a really nice way to, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it's great surfing season, so not very good surf at the moment, it's a bit wild, but so nice. And coming up to 4-point kneeling, if you can, please, Michael. Now, one of the nice ones, if people can't do the hand lift, you can just do the arm circles at that point as well. But what we're going to do now is you're going to have one makalu there and one just there. So you're going to put your hand on the makalu dome. And your first one is you're going to just drop the body down just a little. And you're going to rock the body forward and back. So forward and back. Just getting a nice sort of rock in the shoulders. And then what you're going to do is drop the makalu elbow right down and then lift yourself up. Then lift your arm up and down. This time as you drop that elbow down, look over your shoulder, the yoga block shoulder, and then lift yourself up. And back. Now, this time, if you can, you're going to lift the makalu up and take it up to the ceiling. Then bend the elbow down and drop it down. Lift yourself up, pressing into the yoga block, take yourself up and down. Really try to remember the idea of translating the ribs as you do this, so the ribs will slide over the direction of your yoga block side. Nice. How's that feel, Michael? Now, what you're going to do is turn the makalu over and you're going to put your hand on the dome. So again, you're going to use the base as a bit of a slider. You're going to drop this makalu elbow down and slide the makalu forward. Really try and pull the ribs across to the makalu now, so sliding that there, lovely. Slide the arm back and then you're going to thread the needle. Take your arm through and just drop down. So the idea is that we're really working on opening out your thoracic cavity here and getting your rib cage moving. Slide the arms forward, lifting up, through and down. Nice. Final one. Lovely. Okay, changing sides. Does that feel?
That is not.
It's, before you change sides too, just put your hands on the floor and just feel the difference between your ribs and side. Can you feel it's a bit looser on one side?
Yeah.
Up, don't. Okay. So the first one, just rocking back and forward, okay? So just rocking forward and back. Just getting the shoulders and the hips moving. Okay. Then the second one is dropping the elbow down and up and down and up. Over the shoulder. Don't forget to gaze upon my beauty, Michael. Now, turn the dome over and then you're going to slide it forward. Drop the elbow down. Feel like the ribs sliding over towards the yoga block side. and back. And just 3 like that. This time, I'm going to go forward and take that over to the thread the needle. But forward, then thread the needle through. Now, what I would do is I would progress this class if the client was feeling comfortable working on the yoga block. I would progress it to have the person with their hand on another makalu, so that one is in the mushroom position, so turned over with the timber base upwards, and one in the slider position, so that then you've got this little bit of instability that makes it a little bit harder for somebody to control and really brings a lot of focus into the wrist. Now, if your client's struggling with their hand on the makalu like this, on the yoga block like this because it's too much load, you might just put their hands on the edge of the block so that they can keep their fingers down and not put too much pressure there. You'd probably want a heavy yoga block there though, just to make sure that it doesn't fall too far. How's that feel?
That's good.
Getting your back moving?
For a change, yes.
Yeah, it's okay. So, because it's a smaller group today, we can go a little bit slower on a couple of things. Now, what I would suggest is your other progression of this would be is you would have put both domes in front of you, bottom down, hands on each dome, and you're then going to keep your bottom down and slide your arms forward. Sort of a lovely rest position. Then from there, curl your spine up. Then lift your domes up off the floor as you lift your hips up into a thigh stretch. Yeah, nice. So from there, curl down and back. So you've got this sense that you're rolling your spine, articulating the spine up, lifting your arms up, curling, and lift your hips forward and lean back. Lean back, get your thighs stretched, hold on to the domes, down, curl down, and slide. Final one, just so that you can get that sense. And breath. And down. This time, you're going to stay down, roll down, take your arms all the way forward, Michael. And this time you're going to circle your arms around to the side. From there, roll your arms forward and back. Yep, and then bending the elbows in and out. Getting that nice sensible tricep extension. And then circle your arms around and forward. And come up, rolling it all the way up. Nice. Does that feel on your shoulders? Okay, good. So, what I'm going to be is very nice. You don't have to be nice if you don't want to. There's a couple of different ways that I like to do this. So, sometimes some clients like to lie and do this where we have the middle domes together into your booby position or just bikini position, and you can just lie with your head there. What sometimes is also nice though is that you can lie with your back on the ball and your head on here, so you're making a little spine corrector movement. So Michael, can you lie? Your legs are going to be that way. Mid back there, head on there, please. Actually feels quite nice when you're doing this. Oh dear, the minute Michael lies down, the dog returns. So I'm sorry, you may see a dog come and lick Michael's face. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my middle dome, okay, and I'm going to get it just here at the base of your jaw. And you're just going to roll that middle dome around. And I call this Princess Leia's bum. So you're going to roll it around the ear and around to the temple. You can come in, Jeffy. Sorry, everyone. Just lie there, dog. Okay, so just working around that temple, okay? And then what I like to do is from there, I just like to roll it around the temple. Sometimes it's better to use the smaller dome. Some people prefer the smaller dome. If that's the case, I'm just going to use the smaller dome here. What you're going to do is go from the temple and you're just going to follow along the top of the eyebrow, okay? So again, these are some of the sinus trigger points from an acupressure point of view. And we're just going to work along in between the eyebrow, okay? So then you're going to go underneath the eyebrow as well. So again, remember this class is Christmas party recovery. We had to do the work to get the spine released and the hips released from all our dancing and just Christmas party activities. But now we've got to release the face and the sinuses. So remember, we started from the temple, we went over the eyebrow, we went under the eyebrow, and then you're back to the temple again, and then you're just going to work along the cheekbone. Now, this stuff around the sinus stuff, there is a whole video on YouTube for Makalu using face and sinus. This is just some additional work to that class. Okay, so around, under and back. Then what you're going to do is go underneath the cheekbone. What I'd like you to think of yourself is you're creating Angelina Jolie cheekbones, okay? So under the cheekbones, I'm just working up and under. So don't sort of dig too hard, but just use this as a way of helping to drain any puffiness around. So then from there, you're going to go along the outer part of the jawbone on top. And then underneath the jawbone. So we're just doing it all on one side here first. And then sometimes I like to do 3 or 4 along each of these lines, but for today we're just going to do just these few little points along here. Nice one. Does that feel? Hopefully you're all feeling kind of relaxed in the face there. So let's just do on the other side and then we'll come to Joker lips. So remember, we're going to start just at the base of, around the temple, not the temple, the temporomandibular joint there. And then you're going to go along around the ears as if you were going around Princess Leia's hair buns. Okay. You can go as fast or as slow as you like for this, but I find that this is a really nice thing to do just to bring you into a nice relaxed state. And then when at your temple, just massage around there gently, and then just go around the top of the eyebrow. Long, long, and then underneath the eyebrow. remembering that there's some very important nerves that come in and around the eyebrow and some lymphatic points. So it's nice to give them this little bit of stimulation, especially if you're stressed. So coming around and under the cheekbone now. Some people like to do both sides at once, but I kind of think it's kind of nice just to give each side just its own little bit of attention. And just into the nose. And underneath your cheekbone. And then along the top of the jaw. Again, I know I'm going very fast here, but I'm hoping that this is just enough for you to understand. And then hopefully you can work on this at your own pace a little bit later. Okay. Just a nice gentle pass. With a little bit of meanness in the middle. And then you're going to go underneath the jaw. And just take a moment and just take a nice deep breath before we do the joker lips. Okay, so just going to take the yoga block lower a bit, Michael, if that's okay. Just put your head down there. You can keep the yoga block higher if you like, but I just need to be able to see a little bit more. So I've got my two smaller stones that you can go whichever. I'm just going to go onto the very corner of my lips, just like I was at the joker, okay? I'm just going to very gently press into the very corner of the lips and feel like I'm pulling them away. Okay. I'm going to create a little smile. So just do that about 3 times, just get that nice little, looks at it. Just working on that, those little facial lines. Now, what I'm going to do is work around the lips now. So you've gone to the joker lips. So then you're going to go, if you think of the top of the lip like that, when you put your hand over like you're making silence, that's 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And the corner of the lips are 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. We're sort of going to try and go around the lips clockwise in opposition. So if we're at 3 o'clock, we're going to go to 4 o'clock, and you're going to 10 o'clock. You're going to sort of, just at the edge of the lips, just very, ever so gently, sort of lift away from the lips, almost like you're opening the lips up, okay? And don't try and pull too much. This is a very gentle process. When you get to 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you'll have to change sides of your domes. You'll see what I mean. Is it okay? Just a very gentle, trying to release any tension around the mouth from any words you may not have said or hopefully not have said at Christmas parties. And just slowly